Friends, welcome back. Myself, Dr. Awasthi Sudarshan Subhash. In today's discussion, we are going to have an introduction to the most celebrated novel by Raja Rao, that is Kanthapura. But before that, my friends, we will have a brief introduction to Raja Rao. Friends, Raja Rao was born in 1908 in the kingdom of Mysore, Karnataka. Raja Rao gave prestige and popularity to the Indian writing in English, not only in India but also abroad. He is one of the three most famous Indian novelists of 1930s, others being Mulkraj Anand and R.K. Narayan. He has three novels to his credit: Kanthapura, The Serpent and the Rope, and The Cat and Shakespeare. His famous collection of short stories is The Cow of Barricades. Kanthapura is about the history of India's freedom struggle, which was fought under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. Friends, Raja Rao gives mythical quality to this part of the history, making use of the folklore, cultural traditions like Harikatha, and religious atmosphere in the village. Kanthapura is a tragic story of a village which is caught up in the Indian freedom struggle in 1930s. Its hero, Murthy, is inspired by the principles of Satya, Ahimsa, and self-purification of Mahatma Gandhi. The narrator of the story is an old lady Achaka. Kanthapura is a village located on the ghats up the Malabar coast. At the center of the village there is temple of goddess Kanchamma. It is a typical Indian village. Its 24 houses are divided into Brahmin quarters, potters' quarters, and weavers' quarters. There are around 100 huts of pariahs and Sudra quarters also. The people of Kanthapura are very orthodox, religious, and superstitious. The story of the novel revolves around the activities of the central character, Murthy. He is the only son of an old lady called Narsamma. She hopes Murthy will complete his college education and become collector, at least sub-collector. But one day, Murthy has a vision of Mahatma Gandhi, who tells him to wear khadar, give up the foreign education, and serve the people of rural areas. So Murthy leaves the college and comes back home to start Gandhian movement in Kanthapura. Murthy is loved and respected by all the people of Kanthapura. Murthy takes help of the religious feelings of the villagers to preach Gandhian principles. He starts Shankar Jayanti, which is a great success and bringing together all the villagers. It is followed by Ganesh festival, then Rama and Krishna festival. Jairamacharya, a Harikatha preacher, comes to Kanthapura. Under Murthy's guidance, he narrates Harikatha presenting Mahatma as an avatara who is born to rescue Bharata, the daughter of Brahma, from the slavery of the British. But Jairamacharya is taken away by the police. However, the festivals and reading of Shiv Purana continues. Murthy and his friends start the movement of Swadeshi, distributing spinning wheels to the people of all the quarters. Murthy explains to people the importance of spinning and wearing khadar in the freedom struggle. Murthy goes to pariah quarters also. He serves them. He starts teaching them alphabet, grammar, and arithmetic. Murthy wants to educate them so that they can fight against exploitation and injustice. Bhatta does not like Murthy's activities and is mixing with the pariahs, so he tries to instigate the high caste men and women against him. Waterfall Venkama helps him in this, but they are not successful. Bhatta then spreads the news that Swami is going to excommunicate or outcast Murthy and his mother and the whole village if this pollution is not stopped. Friends, Murthy continues his work with the pariahs. He himself is treated as a pariah. He is not given entry in the kitchen. There are many coolies or pariahs working in the Scaffington coffee estate owned by British. Murthy, accompanied by some workers, tries to enter the estate to meet the coolies working there, but the policeman Bade Khan does not allow him to enter the estate. Rachanna, the pariah worker, challenges the police. They start beating Rachanna. The workers gather round Rachanna and attack the policeman. This is against Murthy's principle of non-violence. He observes a fast for 3 days as a penance. Murthy is thus following in the footsteps of Mahatma Gandhi. Rangamma, the rich widow whose big house is the center of all activities of Murthy and his friends, takes an active part in the movement. She is educated and so she is able to answer any arguments of people like Bhatta and Rangi Gowda. The Patel of the village is also on the side of Murthy. Postmaster Suryanarayana, Patwari, young widow Ratna, and many men and women from every quarter of the village turned Gandhian. After coming from the jail, Murthy tells the people of Kanthapura that Mahatma Gandhi is going to begin his Dandi march for salt satyagraha. They learn how Mahatma took a handful of salt and brought it home. Following Mahatma Gandhi, thousands of people rush to see, show, and manufacture salt. Thousands of them are imprisoned. Here in Kanthapura also, my friends, Rangamma prepares the women psychologically for this march. But the news of Mahatma's arrest reaches the people of Kanthapura. The people of Kanthapura start the movement of Don't Touch the Government under Murthy's leadership. Murthy gives them a plan of action of protesting outside toddy booths, not paying government revenue, and starting parallel government. Murthy, my friends, then leads an agitation against the toddy shop outside the Skeffington estate. Villagers lie down in front of the shop to prevent the coolies entering it. The policemen attack the villagers and the coolies as well. Murthy and 17 others are arrested. It is for the first time that the women of Kanthapura face the police violence. The people of Kanthapura have received revenue notices, but they have decided not to pay the revenue. There are threats from the government officials. Next morning, the people see that the coolies from the village are being taken forcibly to the coffee estate. There is a lot of violence and police brutality. The women take shelter in the temple. The police lock the temple from outside. Next day, Rachanna's wife opens it when she listens to their screams and banging. The villagers see more and more city men coming to Kanthapura. The villagers suspect that their property and land is going to be auctioned. Ratna organizes Satyanarayan Puja, so that volunteers from the city can come to Kanthapura with this excuse. The procession of the puja starts. The police do not suspect them, but suddenly there is a cry of Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram. Then there is a police attack, but the workers from the city have arrived and all of them march towards the coffee estate. The soldiers there open fire on them. Women and children are bayoneted. Every house and hut in Kanthapura is under attack. Many men are killed. Soldiers come running. The poor villagers run away from Kanthapura and take shelter in the nearby village of Madur. And afterwards they settle down in Kashipura. Rangegowda, who comes back to Kanthapura to drink the water of the river Hemavati, reports that there is neither man nor mosquito in Kanthapura. Murthy does not come back to Kanthapura. Rangegowda, who comes back to Kanthapura to drink the water of the river Hemavati, reports that there is neither man nor mosquito in Kanthapura. Murthy also does not come back to Kanthapura. In this way, the novel describes the impact of the Gandhian freedom movement on this tiny village of Kanthapura and its unequal fight against the forces of British imperialism and the sufferings of the people of India. The end of the novel sees the end of this village. There is an exodus of the survivors to Kashipura. The village rose as one man against foreign rule and was temporarily defeated. The village houses were destroyed, but the spirit that was generated was undying and ultimately resulted in the complete independence of the country. So this is all about the novel Kanthapura, my friends.